So whichever way you look at it, the world suddenly seems a much more dangerous place. And in the days and weeks to come, it's only going to get worse. Israel stands on the brink of all-out war on two fronts. More than 500,000 reservists and personnel are about to hammer Hamas in the west and defend the country potentially from Hezbollah in the north. Two different terrorist groups in two different territories, both backed by Iran, a sworn enemy of the West. Iran doesn't believe Israel has a right to exist. It wants to encircle the country with paramilitary groups and ultimately dominate the region. Like all pariah states, it profits from chaos. And so far, on that scale, it's winning. Israel's massive strides towards peace with the Arab world are suddenly on ice. But the whole region is red hot again, and no matter how much people want to make this a simple story of good versus evil, of power and revenge, the fact is the stakes couldn't be higher, or the situation more complicated.
We're in a battle for our lives. A battle for our home. This is not an exaggeration. This is the war. It's a do or die. They need to die. We are now in a double battle. One battle is a battle to hold action here, and on the other side to win there. An absolute victory that will erase Hamas.
Well, on that, Netanyahu may be right. This could be an existential threat to Israel, and the conflict could sow chaos across the world. That's why it's a complete shambles, frankly, that the United States currently has no Speaker of its House and no easy way of approving either military support for Israel nor aid for Gaza. Both are needed urgently. The Republicans need to get a grip. The deaths of so many Palestinians, including hundreds of women and children, since the Hamas terror attacks, of course, they're heartbreaking. And with any ground invasion, it's going to get exponentially worse. Hamas will inevitably use civilians as human shields in Gaza. It's already firing rockets from the cover of schools and mosques and UN buildings. The potential for deadly mistakes is massive. Every tragedy will stoke anger and resentment. Already it's boiling over on our streets. Reports of anti-Semitism are soaring across the world. I've been struck by a number of Jewish people I know in London and New York who say they simply don't feel safe. This weekend saw more pro-Palestinian protests in many major cities. Ignorant campus protesters again condemned Israel but stayed silent about the atrocities of Hamas. In Brooklyn, here in New York, people tore down posters of Israelis kidnapped by terrorists and demanded settlers go back home. Well, in London, crowds at segregated rallies called for jihad.
What is the solution to liberate people in the concentration camp from Palestine?
Jihad!
What is the solution?
Jihad!
Allah
Jihad! Jihad!
Brothers have said, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ. Fight in the way of Allah those who fight you. The Zionist entity has a military. They have a police force. They have a judiciary. They have an apparatus, an army, fighting, killing, massacring our people. Islam says, jihad fi sabilillah, that the Muslim armies move to rescue the people of Palestine. That is the solution.
Well, the Met Police says that word has different meanings and has found no evidence of an offence. But what is a Jewish Londoner living in that neighbourhood supposed to think? On a London Underground train, the driver did this.
Free Palestine!
Be free
Palestine!
Hope you will have a blessed day today. Look after yourself and give a big shout out to everybody. And keep all those people in your prayers. Have a good day.
Again, imagine being a Jewish passenger on that train. Today, the Israeli government showed foreign journalists the unedited footage of the terror attacks committed by Hamas on October the 7th, because the instinct, incredibly, of many people has been to just deny they ever happened, although they were wildly exaggerated. Is that really what this has come to? Every war makes the world a more dangerous place, but that shouldn't apply to ordinary Jewish people trying to go to work and go to school, none of whom has any control over what Israel does next. They're no more responsible than the Palestinian civilians caught up in this onslaught by Hamas. And one thing we should all be able to agree on is that the innocent people in Gaza, running out of food and water, living in constant fear for their lives, they've done nothing either to deserve the hell they're currently in. The whole point of terrorism is to fuel hatred, division and disorder. And right now, that's exactly what the terrorists are doing.